I am so excited to show this to you. Check it out.
Do it like that. 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 Like that. Do it 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 like that.
I've been working for 9 months on this project. And when I say this project, I don't only mean this ridiculous timeline of this video that you're about to see. I'm mainly talking about this pack. This pack got so much love from me. In this pack, you'll find effects that are inspired by some of the best movies, commercials, and TV series. And as always, there is a lot of free effects in this video as well. This time I'm gonna surprise you with a few of them. Prepare yourself for a wild ride. Let's go. This is the BadAss Zoom In 2.0. BadAss Zoom In is really the effect that sort of started the whole BadAss brand for me. I call it BadAss Zoom In because it's badass. It's really, really high quality zoom in. That's the effect that made me want to create visual effects in the first place. Most of what is sold out there is pretty childish, pretty stupid. It's almost embarrassing to use. Like you tricked somebody. You're like, wow. The reason I love the BadAss Zoom In is because it's real. It's actually happening. There is an actual zoom happening. It's a lot more sexy almost feel to it than most of the stuff that you see out there. But if you got the first version of my effect, you know that it takes quite a lot of tweaking the settings to achieve this effect. In this version, I made sure that everything happens automatically. You just point at where the zoom needs to happen and all the magic happens. There might be some cases where you need to tweak something, but it's going to be such a minimal tweak. The effect is designed to do everything for you. So this is the BadAss Zoom In 2.0. And believe it or not, it is free. It is my gift to you. Just use it wisely. Use it with footage that actually makes sense to cut between, something that is like wide shot and close up. Don't do this kind of crap.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
But the next effect I've been waiting for years. That was me when I was waiting. I've been a professional video editor for many years. And as a freelance video editor, my favorite visual effects pack was Sapphire.
No wonder the Sapphire is Hollywood's secret weapon and the choice of the world's best editors and artists for all their visual effects needs.
This pack cost $1,800. It's an insane visual effects pack that I used throughout many of my TV projects. My absolute most favorite effect in this pack was the Sapphire Glow. It looks like an A24 movie, if you know what I mean. and many Spielberg movies. Since this company is not making effects for Final Cut Pro, that's the one effect I've been missing since I started working on Final Cut Pro. And I know we have some glow effect in Final Cut Pro. This effect is nowhere near what I'm talking about here. This is embarrassing. Since I can make my own effects, I have been trying to recreate this effect now for years, but I couldn't reach the standard I wanted until now. Suddenly adds a lot of emotion. Something that looks dry feels alive. A lot more cinematic, emotional, and I love that feeling. It's so subtle. Most people won't even notice it, but they will feel it. Film glow gives you that subtle magic that we're all trying to create with our work. To badass or not to badass. That's cool. This is the badass ghost. So what do we have in this potion? A little time distortion sprinkled with some flashes gives us horror vibes mixed with glitchy energy. I've intentionally made the settings very simple. The two sliders you care about the most are the offset amount and the flash count. Offset is responsible for warping the time, and the flash is about how much it flashes. These two settings are really the core of the effect. The next effect is inspired by the best freaking series in the world.
We were kids, me and my sister.
Yes, Arcane. Every frame in this series feels like a handcrafted masterpiece. The visuals feel alive. It's cinematic, stylized, and raw. You're not just watching an animation, you're stepping into another dimension. A dimension where hand-painted aesthetic is combined with 3D animation. One of my favorite elements in this series is this hand-painted glowing marker effect. I love the way it looks and the freedom and badassness it portrays. So of course, I've created my own version of it. I've hand-painted 25 elements, things like arrows, lines, X's, etc., and combined them with a 3D camera to give them this 2D, 3D fusion that Arcane has. I've made sure it's very easy to position the elements anywhere, to choose any color, to choose if they wiggle, and choose if you want this film dust that they come with in Arcane. If you choose to activate the 3D camera, I find that the best way to use it is with freeze frames. I've also made some transitions. The creators of Arcane use this type of editing around Jinx a lot. I guess it's to illustrate her badassness. Naturally, I feel like this effect belongs in the badass effects family. Like in Arcane, this effect should look a little different depending on what's happening in the transition. So in both of these effects, you have the option to adjust where the effect is happening. And the best spot is where you think the eyes of your audience are. The next effect is made for pros. In 2025, inevitably, there's going to be moments where we need to blend the vertical world with the horizontal world. And that's why I created frames. I wanted to enjoy the moment of putting a vertical footage in my film and not be confused and embarrassed by the fact that I'm using that kind of footage. You know what I mean? And I noticed that every time I am using vertical footage, the problem is a little bit different. So every time the way I want to deal with it is different. Sometimes I wanted to have blur around the footage. Sometimes I just wanted to have clean, round edges. Sometimes I wanted to have a beautiful background. And sometimes I wanted to have cool frames around me. So I've created an effect that kind of have a bit of everything in it. So what's new in version 2.0? First, the on-screen controls. Everything is a lot more simple. Now, not only that you can move the frame wherever you want, you can move what's inside the frame however you want. And you can move the background. We have 15 new frames. And in general, I've made everything super easy to adjust. For example, if you want to change the color, it will affect all the other backgrounds. Same for any other adjustment. Everything you do affects everything else. A lot more convenient. Another really important feature is this preview of how it would look like in social media. I realized that social media platforms outrageously cut some pixels out of your footage, even if you upload in the right resolution. So this preview gives you a sense of how your video would feel like with the notch and the buttons and the menus. And it also shows you where the social media platforms are cutting your footage out. So you can easily adjust your frame to make it look exactly how you want it to look like. And one last important tip about frames is that it has a transparent background. So you can combine many frames together or have picture-in-picture like this. How awesome is that? The next transition works perfectly with this effect. Oh yeah, the good old slide projector. There is something about this effect, isn't there? It presses the right button. The button that makes you feel something. There are a few simple things you can change. For example, the amount of space you get between photos. The amount of prism. Motion blur. If you want this slant that some real slide projectors have. The slide direction. And we have a vertical version of the same effect as well. Okay, that was cute. Now it's time for something very different.
Me llamo Fabi. Hola.
Recently, I've seen this documentary that I consider a masterpiece. A lot of times, it doesn't even feel like a documentary. It was amazing how much realism and authenticity the directors have managed to keep while making this film. In this movie, they used this effect in a really beautiful way that really complements the story. And I mean, we've all seen this in our phones, but I didn't realize this could be used in real filmmaking. I mean, look at this is awesome. So of course, I made this effect. Introducing Looper. And if you want to add another cool dimension to it, you can drop my new effect, Echo Wave, into this loop and get this magic going. So Arcane became a little obsession. I got so curious about how they created such an incredible piece of art. So I watched a documentary about the making of. It turns out the documentary was actually produced by the same creative team that made Arcane, Fortiche Productions, which also explains why the documentary itself looked and felt amazing. Now, while watching it, one thing stood out for me more than anything. This effect. They used it in a lot of interview shots. I found it very neat. I feel like it's such a smart way to add depth to otherwise simple shots. As you can see, they got a very plain background, minimal setup. But with this effect, everything just feels cinematic. It's like they gave it a soul. As a documentary filmmaker, I know how difficult it is to make interviews look interesting. You need to think about lighting, composition, colors. It takes time and effort to get it right. But this effect feels like a cheat code. Obviously, I got very inspired to make my own version of this. I call it Aura. Aura has 4 modes. Each one is like a separate effect with its own flavor. The first one is image mode. This one mirrors the actual image back into itself. As far as I can tell, this is the same effect they used in the Arcane documentary. For me, it has this subtle, emotional, vintage feeling. It mimics the imperfection of old lenses that has this beautiful lens fog. Next is tint mode. Same principle, but this time you can pick your color. You're not just reflecting the image, you're painting it. It becomes more expressive, moody, and cinematic. It adds life to otherwise dull frames. It's perfect for interviews, yes, but also music videos or anything you want to elevate emotionally. And then we have prism mode. For me, this one feels more playful and magical. With the right footage, it looks spectacular. I love this surreal, rainbow, dreamy vibes. And there is a little checkbox in the setting that changes everything. It gets this vintage sci-fi music video energy. More analog, more experimental. So, no matter which mode you choose, Aura draws you in. It brings warmth, mystery, and nostalgia. I feel like when you use it right, it will enhance whatever emotion you're trying to make the audience feel. And that's Aura.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
The filmmaking aspect of commercials has always fascinated me. The filmmakers have a very short time to communicate a message that needs to be crystal clear and very impactful. Every cut, every effect, every choice must be precise. There is no room for ambiguity. One of the most powerful examples I've seen lately for a precise use of an effect is in this Volvo commercial. The commercial starts with a couple discovering that they're going to have a baby soon. And then we see a vision of the future, a life with their soon-to-arrive baby. The effect they use to communicate this vision is probably the best I've seen. And here's why. What sets this effect far apart from anything similar to it is its versatility. Each image has a different version of the effect. For example, this wide shot has this organic radial blur around it. But when it's a close-up, the blur behaves very differently. Each shot gets its own beautiful touch. So having this flexibility in mind, I created Memory. I'm just gonna take another more special energy fluid.
Looks like urine.
It looks like urine.
Morning urine.
Shilajit for more energy.
It only looks like urine.
This is so hot. Look at this. Sort of starts and ends like in the Matrix. It's like a... I love this. This is so epically, magically, bombastically cool. It doesn't matter if you freeze your own footage or if you use a still or a photo that you got from somewhere else. This effect adds a magical new dimension to your footage. I love this. I love this a lot. I want to try something. I want to show you the default Final Cut Pro transition fade to black that they have here. And I want to show you my new cinematic fade to black. I won't tell you which one is which. And I want you to just look at those two versions and feel into what feels to you more cinematic. Don't worry if you can't spot the difference or if it's confusing. After this, we'll dive into it more. I'm sure some of you noticed the difference straight ahead, but let's see if you noticed everything. As you can see, version 1 is flat. The whole image fades together regardless of what's happening in it. In version 2, the darker parts of the image fade first, and the brighter parts second. This is how real film behaves, and that's why we get that cinematic feeling. But that's not all. You also get to choose what part of the image will stay with the audience last, just before it fades out. It's subtle, powerful, and it speaks in a cinematic language. But like in any language, you can make your words fade out. Or you can make them linger, like the last line of a beautiful poem. As a child, I used to love opening up tech to just see what's inside. And I found a YouTube channel that speaks directly to that inner geeky child. It dives deep into all kinds of displays, unusual materials, and even experimental paper tech. One video that really caught my eye is this one. It's a kind of experiment called motion extraction.
This is a rather insignificant shot of a tree. This is the same shot, but now with only the motion visible. I call this motion extraction. Only the changes in time remain visible. It's quite simple to achieve. Duplicate the video, invert it, and make it half transparent. And then you only have to shift the time, and all changes within that time appear. Can you spot the deer? And can you spot it now?
You can literally see how the movement unfolds over time. You can see what part of the image is moving, which stones shift when somebody is walking. I found it fascinating. It didn't feel to me like the typical filter effect. It felt different. It's almost like revealing a hidden layer of reality. And that got me excited. Reflection 2.0. I call this the B-roll enhancer. If you've been editing for a while, you know this feeling. That shot that almost works, but it's missing something. I build reflection for these exact situations. There are two versions. The first version has this bold glass element in front of the frame. This version is especially useful for enhancing B-roll. It adds a professional touch by mimicking something that cinematographers do a lot, playing with reflections. It's great for turning flat, simple shots into something more soft, cinematic, more engaging. You can add inner movement within the reflection itself to make the effect even more alive. The second version is all about control. You can move the glass anywhere you want, choose what gets reflected, the size, the prism, all the good stuff you expect from a BadAss effect. By the way, how awesome is this glass texture? I feel like it really helps sell the glass feeling. Both versions have their place and time. Whatever version you'll choose, I think you're gonna like Reflection 2.0 a lot. And this is the second free effect. You're getting that one as a gift from me for free today. Have fun. But I have one more gift for you. The overlay slides. Some of my most favorite transitions I've ever made. If you've used slide transitions before, you know that they work by replicating your image during the slide. Most of the time it's fine, but sometimes you can really see it. And when you do, I feel like it reduces the quality of the transition a lot. And that's why I created the overlay slides. The overlay changes the repetitive pattern of the transition and makes it look like an actual camera move. You get 13 overlays to choose from, and you get to adjust the colors and the contrast so they match your footage perfectly. With the full pack, you are also getting few smaller bonus effects. Let's go through them. I've made a simple background effect that you can use anytime you need a background. It can become a lower third, it can become a main title. I love the simplicity of it, and basically it just solves a problem. I just need a little background for my title and
It does the job.
another small but really cool effect is this pop effect. Anytime you want something to pop on your screen, you just drop that and it does that automatically. It's really, really cool. It's simple. I always needed that. Another small effect that is meant to work with frames is my new time effect. This is an actual digital clock that can show both time and date. You can add it to any photo or footage, and it gives this really cool analog vibes. The last small bonus effect is alpha overlay. Whenever you need to blend two images together in a beautiful way, alpha overlay adds this cloud texture to your image, and it makes things a lot more interesting. This pack is loaded with high quality BadAss effects. Stuff that adds a lot of style to a video, but also solves a lot of problems. This is no doubt the highest quality effect pack I've ever created. I spent on it the longest time I've ever spent on a pack, but I also feel like I'm in a level that I definitely haven't been in the beginning of my effect creating career. I'm super proud of this one. I'm very curious. What was your favorite effect? And also, what effect do you want me to create next? Let me know in the comments, I'll be watching. As always, I also offer a mega pack, a pack that includes all the effects that I've ever created. It will be a lot cheaper for you if you buy the mega pack than if you buy each pack separately. It is so damn good to be back. See you very soon.